What's up, everybody? Welcome to BR NFL Training Camp Live. I am Mike Golic Jr. back with you guys again this week and joined here by Bears legend Charles Peanut Tillman. Charles, good to see you. Good to be out here in Chicago. How you feeling?
I'm feeling hot.
Hot. Yes, it wouldn't be training camp without it.
It would not be training camp without it, but I'm feeling good. But other than the heat, I feel great.
All right, fantastic. We feel great. We're excited to be here. We have a lot of fun that we're going to have today, some great guests that we're going to have stopping by the show here. But before we get too deep and get started in the show, we did want to take a brief pause to send our thoughts and our prayers to our NFL partners, the victims and their families, and the people in New York as they process the shock of the tragic and recent events yesterday, the shooting that we saw in the city. So certainly our hearts are with everyone dealing with the fallout and the loss from that tragedy. And Peanut, we know there is no easy transition back into the normal world of sports after that, but we're going to try and do that today and hopefully bring some joy to the people watching and bring some joy to Chicago Bear fans getting ready for this season. We are live on the Bleacher Report app and YouTube. Chat, we see you up already here. If you've got questions for Peanut as we go along here for our great guests, and we're hopefully going to get to talk to Bears wide receiver DJ Moore, Kyler Gordon from the secondary, plenty of great players here, maybe even Colston Loveland, the rookie star tight end. You got questions for or about any of them, fire them in the chat. We'll get to going in the story here. But, Charles, for anyone that does not remember, an All-Pro and a Pro Bowler here in Chicago, the Peanut Punch, one of the iconic plays in my lifetime watching football. And for you right now, being back out here, you mentioned the heat, the training camp, all these familiar feelings, I'm sure, for you. What was it like for you getting ready for this time of year every season going into the fall?
It's just all the work that I did in the off season. Running, the pulling the tire sleds, just waking up early, just all the workouts. I did all my workouts in California.
Yeah.
I would go to California Scripps Ranch, and I'd go out there and I'd do all my training. And right now, that kind of set me up and it helped me to where I am right now, which is the getting you set up for a training camp. It's a process. I was one of the, I think, guys that enjoyed the actual process.
Interesting.
Yeah, I truly enjoyed my off season. I loved working out. I loved getting better. Like, that was just something that I really enjoyed. And I didn't really so much care for training camp.
Sure.
I didn't care for training camp, but I enjoyed the process. And my off season it helped me with training camp. Training camp was a little bit easier just because of how I prepared in my offseason.
Well, speaking of easier training camp, now certainly all the changes that have been made to the CBA, the practice.
Don't even get me started with that. Please don't even get me started with that.
I feel like I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't give you the format to get some of these frustrations out with how much easier the guys who are about to sit down with us have it going into training camp now than when you were in the league, the early 2000s going on there.
So totally not to crap on, what the guys are doing right now because it's hot. They're out there. They're working hard. Let me make sure I get that point clear. The guys are out there. They are working hard. Training camp was hard back in 2003.
Whew.
I did special teams. I took all the reps with the ones, the twos. You're practicing twice a day. I literally questioned, am I good enough to be in this league? Can I continue to do this day in and day out? Because my body was destroyed. I was on the third or fourth floor in our dorm in Bourbon A, and I had to walk the stairs. Like, it was bad. It was so bad.
It seems to be a mental test as much as a physical test. And for the guys that we're going to talk about now, that mental test is twofold. It's something you also experience here. Big coaching changes. We look ahead to the Bears' upcoming season here in 2025. It was a big offseason here. Obviously, the previous staff let go. Ben Johnson brought in as the head coach. Dennis Allen brought in as the defensive coordinator, in addition to a whole host of offseason moves that have Bears fans, I think, feeling really hopeful around here. You know how much this city loves the Chicago Bears, is dying to see that success for this team. As someone that wore this uniform and called this franchise home for so long, when you saw so many of the moves they made this offseason, do you feel like there's legitimate reason for optimism heading into this season?
Absolutely. Over the last, 10 years, we've been feeling this optimism. We've been feeling optimistic. We've been excited about the start of the season because they've made so many changes, so many coaches. I think this year we can really and truly be excited about all the changes. We all know what Coach Johnson did when he was in Detroit. I mean, he had tremendous success. Now, our goal, our hope, is that he could bring that success from Detroit back here in Chicago.
Yeah, that's certainly the goal here, and he's going to have some help. You see right now the offseason recap for the Bears. Hockey line change on the offensive line. They bring in Pro Bowl guard Joe Thuney. Jonah Jackson, very familiar with
hockey line change.
Oh, yeah, the full shift. Get him out there.
Full shift. But you know what? The full shift was necessary.
Yes, talk about that. That foundation in front of Caleb.
Yeah, the full shift was necessary. Never have I ever seen, in my years as a Chicago Bear or just being a Chicago Bear fan, have the fans talked about the offensive line being so terrible. And I really think the GM and the team, they listened to the fans and they really evaluated the team and did what they had to do, and we got to revamp the offensive line. Caleb Williams got hit way too many times. So the key additions, Thuney, Jonah Jackson, I think they were huge. I think those were key pickups for us this offseason.
You throw Drew Dahlman, who you're seeing highlights now, big free agent acquisition from the Atlanta Falcons, comes over and signs that 3-year, $42 million deal this offseason. And you're right. This is very rare. I was a former college offensive lineman. You're usually taught that if people are talking about the O-line, it's a bad thing. That's a group that's usually seen and not heard.
Yeah, it's normally bad. Normally you don't really talk about offensive linemen. They're, in my opinion, you guys are the quiet professionals. You do all the grunt work. You get no credit for it. But last year, what we saw from our offensive line, everyone talked about it. It was pretty bad, and I think it goes without saying we need to revamp our offensive line. And I know they haven't played together that long, or they haven't played together only just through training camp and practice OTAs. But I really like what I'm seeing. You had a lot of veteran leadership, a lot of veteran presence.
Yes.
On this offensive line. There's some experience with these guys.
I want to talk to you about how much that matters, because Drew Dahlman mentioned a guy getting his second contract in the NFL coming off that rookie deal. Jonah Jackson, a veteran. Darnell Wright, one of the holdovers from here, who's a legitimate pencil-in starter right now at right tackle. And then you've got the three-man competition at left tackle with Braxton Jones, who obviously played a ton last year. Ozzie Trapillo, one of their second-round picks out of Boston College. And then Karan Amageji out of Yale, I believe, from last season.
Yes.
So you've got that three-man competition there, but I want to talk about the experience. Joe Thuney comes over with championship pedigree from multiple stops.
4 Super Bowl wins. Holy crap.
How much does that help a group that hasn't played together to have a guy that's lived through and been through as much as he has there?
Well, it's just his presence. He's got that the veteran presence, while he's in the room. Like, he can coach guys, he can help guys. They can go to him. I think that was one of the things that the team was missing, was the veteran leadership.
Yep.
And you bring a guy like Joe in, he has that. He's all-pro, Pro Bowl, playoff guy, championship guy, Super Bowl guy. So he has all those things. And most people think you know how to play in this level, like you're a professional, and you kind of have to be taught that sometimes. Joe Thuney, he is a true professional through and through. And I really think that he can teach this team, this offensive line, some of the old guys, some of the newer guys, the younger guys. I really think he can show and teach them a lot and what it takes to be a professional offensive lineman in the NFL.
Man, starting with O-line talk got my juices flowing here. I think Bears fans would also love to hear us talk about their new head coach in Ben Johnson as we see the group clocking in right here. Beef on parade. You always want to see your offensive line together, and it's a beautiful thing here. The man who will be leading them, very O-line friendly, Ben Johnson, last year's AP NFL Assistant Coach of the Year. The Lions, remember, led the league in scoring offense at over 33 points a game. They had the second most yards per game in the NFL. Ben Johnson, over the last few years, has become known as one of the great offensive innovators in the league. But as you know, head coaching is more than just what you can do, calling plays, dialing things up. From what you've seen since he arrived out here in Chicago and now through camp, what's impressed you most about Ben Johnson's approach as the head coach for the first time in his career?
So what I just saw on the screen, I saw the offensive line walking out as a unit. I know that might seem small, and you guys are sitting there just like they're walking out to practice. That was something that I didn't see last year or in the year before, in years past, is the offensive line walking out together. I had the privilege of watching one of the great offensive linemen Olin Kreutz, he was our center.
All
Phenomenal. Hopefully he gets into the Hall of Fame. They did everything as a unit. Now, granted or not, they didn't play so well from time to time here and there, but they played as a team. They were a unit. And this right here, that tells me they're a unit. It starts with us. We're going to walk out together. You have to have that camaraderie. You have to have that bond. And that right there tells me all I need to know. The GM did a hell of a job getting these guys, and I don't know whose idea it was to walk out as a unit, but that right there, as you said, gets my juices flowing.
Yeah. Well,
I get excited about that.
Here,
That's one of those player-led things. I don't know who did it, but that's what veteran leadership, that's what a veteran presence does for something as small as that. It's a small thing, but it plays a very huge role. It plays a very huge role. Now, back to the question with Coach Johnson. The city is hype. And the one thing that I've heard from multiple people, he just brings energy. He brings energy. Now, we've had several head coaches over the years. I get the energy, the buzz, the hype the first year. But his energy is a little bit different. His energy is about competition. You know, I think sometimes you can go to a team and each year you're just like, well, my spot is guaranteed. But I think I'm a firm believer in competition. Competition brings out the best. No different than Bleacher Report. You guys, we want to be the #1 show on every app right now, right? We're in competition with other, with other shows and other streamers and other sports shows, right? Competition brings out the best in everybody. And one thing I know about Ben Johnson is he gonna bring out the competition. And I that's one thing that I'm really excited to see. He's going to bring out the best. He's going to get the best from his players.
And I think with that, getting the best out of those guys, that competition, you've also, I think, really seen an attention to detail so far, which for me, watching from the outside looking in, and you can certainly speak to this a lot better than I can, you saw that, I think, show up so often with the Lions offense last year where – there is a real understanding of everybody involved in that entire side of the ball of where they not only their role is in the offense, but how it fits into the larger picture of that. Who do you look at as the biggest beneficiary to that end of Ben Johnson coming over here in Chicago, that extra added attention to detail and everything he's going to bring, especially to this offense?
Caleb.
Yeah.
I think Caleb is the beneficiary of that. One thing I like about him, though, is he holds everyone accountable. You know, there was I think it was the first day of camp, and they ran a play and they had to do the play over because the offense, they kept lining up the wrong way. And I love that he said, "Hey, offense, get out. Number 2 is to get in there. 3 is get in there."
Yep.
You know, hey, get your SHIT. You know, get your stuff together, man. We look terrible. Get out. And to me, I like that because it shows accountability. And Caleb Williams is going to benefit hugely from that.
Yeah, I think that's a big deal for a lot of people that maybe see that as performative or anything like that, but to really actually not just go to a drill and do it to get through it and check off another box, but to actually go in with the purpose of here's what we're trying to accomplish, here's how this is going to translate to wins and losses on Sundays for us, I think is massive. And it sounds like Charles, you can correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of what Bears players last year were saying during the season. I mean, we had guys talking to the media from this locker room saying, we want to be coached hard. We want this. And it felt like they weren't getting it, apparently.
So the really good players, they want to be coached. The really good players, they run toward criticism. They want that. They need that. They yearn for that. They want the constructive criticism.
Yep.
And the good ones, they get it. Those good coaches, they know how to talk to those players and give them the constructive criticism that they need to be successful.
So one of those players that you mentioned needs to be successful this year. If Bears fans are going to get the kind of results they want and expect from this change in regime, is certainly going to be the quarterback, Caleb Williams, the #1 overall pick a year ago, a rookie season where he was hit far too much like we talked about. But as you saw towards the end of the season, thought started to string together some moments that looked more and more. What did you see from him in year one that gives you hope he might be able to meet some of the lofty goals? We heard Ben Johnson say he wants him to complete 70% of his passes. Caleb said himself he wants to be the first 4,000 passer, yard passer in Bears history. Did you see anything last year from him, even in the midst of the losing, that gave you hope he can be that guy?
Grit. For a guy to get hit that many times, and then get back up and then keep throwing, not complain. I mean, I think he knew his offensive line wasn't the greatest, but he got up every single play, and he just kept throwing and kept throwing. I don't think it'll be that hard for him to throw 4,000 yards this season with Coach Johnson calling the plays and with this offensive line. He showed a lot of toughness. I mean, that's hard to do. I'm sure you know this as an offensive lineman. When your quarterback gets sacked so many times and he gets hit so many times, it rattles him a little bit. It messes up the timing. It messes up his rhythm. Now he doesn't have the confidence to get back in the pocket. He sets back up, but then he runs out or he rolls out, gets out of the pocket. It messes up everything. It messes up the timing with the route. So I really think he's going to do quite well this year. I think 4,000 yards, it'll be easy for him. I really do.
Yeah, I think, like you said, it's a great point of, and we've seen this with young quarterbacks a lot coming into the league over the years, where getting hit too much early all of a sudden reinforces a bunch of bad habits. And for Caleb Williams coming out of USC, I think there were a lot of people that brought up the point about, hey, the creativity that he brought to the game. It's great in small doses, but in the NFL, where you need some things to happen a little more on time, where you're all of a sudden maybe not the greatest athlete on the field the way you were in college, you've got to curb some of that stuff. How do you strike that balance if you're Ben Johnson of saying, all right, I know what you've got creatively, but also we need to go out here and execute some stuff within the timing of the offense?
Well, last year we just couldn't complete a lot of the passes, and we just weren't that good. I think really what he needs to do this year, they really got to establish a running game.
Yeah.
You know, they really have to establish a running game. In Chicago, December, January, when it gets cold, you have to run the ball. You got to be able to run the ball. And hopefully we can establish a really good balanced run game, and then we can really open it up for some play action passes and you know, get Rome and DJ Moore down the field. Those are easy touchdowns. Those receivers.
I think that's such a great point that in the NFL where we're at right now, where 5 years ago this was a drop-back passing league, 11 personnel, everyone airing the ball out, I think you've seen in recent years, especially in the NFC, that downhill running game is something that's really been back in style. Look no further than the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles, who made their living pounding pavement right down State Street. Ben Johnson and the Detroit Lions, who were able to do it with a great stable of running backs there, and their two great ones in David Montgomery and company. I think that as the foundation for a quarterback. Also, getting under center. I'd be curious about this from a defensive back standpoint. Yeah. There's been talk of Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams wanting to get under center more, do more of that play action where you turn your back to the defense, can sell hard ball fakes, as opposed to last year where they were a lot more in shotgun and didn't do as much of that. What challenge does that present to defense when all of a sudden you've got an offense with more of that in its arsenal?
Honestly, it doesn't. I mean, as a DB, shotgun under center, it didn't really affect me.
Okay.
From how I would read the game, 3-step, 5-step, quick game, run game. As a DB, from where my eyes were, it didn't affect me at all. It didn't bother me at all. You could be under center, you can be in shotgun. I still have my keys. It's all about your eyes and trusting what you can see. So not a huge deal.
Okay, so if that's not a huge deal, what is then in terms of what a quarterback and a play caller can present you on defense that can give them a better? What's the reason that Ben Johnson and Jared Goff in the last number of years were able to scheme up such wide open throws, find so many great opportunities for that offense to be successful where others maybe weren't as much?
I just think those two were on the same page. I think you have to, when you're the offensive coordinator, you have to look at what you have. Yeah, say, you know, Coach Johnson, he comes here and he wants to do everything that he did with Jared Goff.
Sure.
But Caleb isn't Jared Goff. He's not that type of player. So I think as a coordinator, or, you know, the guy calling the plays, you have to be in a position and humble yourself to say, hey, I know my other guy did this for my other team, but what does my new guy, what can Caleb do? Let me see Caleb's strength. Okay, let me formulate an offense based on what he can do. You know, let me focus on his strengths, and I can come up with all types of plays and help him out. I don't want to just give him the same playbook that I gave the other team. I want to customize. It's a custom suit. I don't want to just go to back rack and get a suit off the rack. I want something custom.
Bespoke.
Yeah, I want something custom. So I'm going to customize these plays based on what my quarterback can do. And I've seen a lot of Caleb throws, and we got a dose of it early in the preseason last year.
Yeah.
With some of the side throws, he's rolling out of the pocket and he's throwing. He's offset feet aren't set. He's rolling to his right, and he throws across his body, and he throws a bomb.
Yep.
So I see a lot of highly explosive plays coming. A lot of trick plays, but some explosive plays coming this year with these two on the same page.
I think that's a great point in understanding what your quarterback can do well. And you saw that in flashes last year. Jared Goff, no disrespect, is an incredible quarterback and has made an incredible career for himself. He's another former number 1 overall pick, but he is a remnant of a different era. He is a statuesque pocket passer who, when pressure hits, isn't going to be the guy that bails you out with his feet himself. He's going to get rid of the ball. He's going to take a sack and live to fight another down. Caleb, you see, he can Houdini out of the pocket. He can help mitigate some of – sacks have become and been, I think, acknowledged a lot more as a quarterback stat in 2025.
Yeah.
The quarterback can help mitigate that in a bunch of ways. And so he's got that special ability. So now it's, all right, we know what the special stuff is. Let's make more of the layups. Let's make a lot of the easier throws that have come up over the course that Caleb missed at times last season. And doing that, getting on the same page. You're also someone that went through coaching changes here in Chicago. You were here when Lovie Smith got here to Chicago.
Yeah.
And so as you're trying to do that feeling out process of coach and player, what's that like? Especially, when the coach comes in and his specialty is on your side of the ball the way it was for Lovie in defense.
I think it's a lot easier on defense, but I think the biggest similarity on any team throughout the NFL, it's the language.
Okay.
At the end of the day, football is football. We could go to Notre Dame right now, and I don't know anything about what they run, but I'm sure Power O is Power O. We just might call it something different. Same thing on our defense over, whatever the blitzes are. Yeah, it's still an over front. It's still an under front. It's really just you have to understand and learn the new terms of what they say.
Got it.
I've been on 2 teams, but I think I've been on 3 or 4 different defenses when new D coordinators come.
Sure.
And it's the same stuff. I just have to relearn, okay, we called it this, now I got to call it that. It's the same defense, but now my muscle memory has to lead me to go to the next call. It's like, okay, I say hi in English, and then now I got to say hola, and then I got to learn say it in French. Now I got to say it in Polish. Now I got to say it in Czech. Now I got to say it in Russian. Now I got to say it in Arabic. Like it's the same thing. I just have to learn that new language.
And learning that new language is one thing if this was pitchers and catchers and it's a one-to-one thing.
Right.
For you playing defensive back. I've always said DBs and offensive line, very similar position groups in that you got to work together and you're going backwards against some great athletes with
Absolutely.
a really difficult technique. You got to talk to each other. The same way Caleb Williams has to be able to communicate that whole new language with his offense. So what does that take as far as the extra off-the-field work to not only be able to speak that language yourself, but to be able to communicate that through an entire group? And in Caleb's case, an entire side of the football where he's got to lead.
I think it just takes time.
Okay.
I think it just takes time. Like, he's in his second year, and he's in his second offense already. And I'm sure he spent a ton of time learning the first offense.
Yep.
Under the Latch regime, but now he's got to even double that. Screw and forget everything else that I've learned. I have to unlearn everything that I've learned. Now I have to go back and learn and just focus what the new regime, what Coach Johnson and staff, what they're telling me. That takes time, and unfortunately, us Chicago Bears fans, we're not the most patient. I guess I can be patient because I'm a former player and I know the process. I know what the playbooks look like. You guys, we're not playing checkers over here. This is chess. He's learning a whole new offense. I think he'll be fine. It's just going to take a little bit of time, so you got to give him a little bit of patience.
I had that conversation with a friend covering the team before about when Bears fans should expect to start seeing some of the benefits of this new offense and Ben Johnson really show up. And you commented before how different training camp is now. Mm-hmm. I think after that 2011 CBA with the reduction in time on the field, we've seen fewer preseason games, fewer reps all over the place. Quarter of the way through the regular season, you're still kind of seeing guys working things out. It almost feels like training camp extends into that. So this is going to take time on all sides of the ball. You mentioned defense, the change with Lovie Smith before. Yeah. New defensive coordinator coming over this year in Dennis Allen, who spent time as a head coach but has been a very successful defensive coordinator. I think in the last 10, 11 years, top 10 defenses 7 times over that span. And a much more attacking style of getting after the football than we saw from Matt Eberflus and company before. From what you know about Dennis Allen and his time in the league, what should Bears fans expect on that side of the ball?
Toughness. Guys running to the ball. So I went to practice a little while ago, and the one thing that I noticed was you had 11 guys running to the ball. the defense will swarm the ball. I think we were ranked. I don't know what our rank was. Maybe we were 28th last year. 28th. Can someone look that stat up for me?
Yeah.
I think we're 28th. But I think you will see that number go all the way down.
Okay.
I think the 2025 Chicago Bears will be a top 10 defense.
Wow.
I'm saying it right now.
All right.
The 2025 Chicago Bears will be a top 10 defense.
Wow. All right.
Based off what I just saw, they were going pads and they were tackling. Yeah, these guys are running to the ball. I have no doubt in my mind. So, if y'all want to bet on that, go for it.
All right, there we go. And you were correct. We did get checked by our producer, Abby, 28th last year in defense.
Right.
So 28th to top 10 would be an impressive jump. And we talked about some of the cavalry they added on offense to help things out here. Plenty of offensive signing or defensive signings as well. Grady Jarrett comes over, Deo Odenigbo, Kyler Gordon re-signed here, who one of my favorite players to watch. I mean, you're a former defensive back, so you can tell me a lot more. Spider-Man himself. An incredible dynamic player in the back end of that defense. He feels like a real special guy along with Jalen Johnson, who I know Bears fans would be very excited once he's back on the field working.
Yeah. Kyler is good because he has a knack for the nickel position. You know, they started him outside. He had some success, but I think for his career and for him to have success and to have a long career, he's a nickelback. You know, I think he has a real feel for it. It's like a very small miniature outside linebacker. You know, he's not afraid to get in there and thump and make tackles and get some sacks, but he's at the same time he can still hit you up and play have amazing coverage.
Is that the biggest difference for people that might hear this and not exactly understand the difference between an outside corner and a guy playing in nickel? What does that spot demand of you as a defensive back that fits him so well?
Well, you kind of have to be the hybrid.
Okay.
A hybrid guy. You know, you got to be able to cover the slot receivers, which I think is one of the hardest positions to do. But you also have to play the run game. You got a lot of run responsibilities too. You know, is it a drop back pass? Okay, I'm looking in coverage. Was the quarterback looking this way? I got to turn. You know, you got to do a lot with a little.
Yep.
And you don't have that much time to make those decisions. You know, like when you're running through your reads, is it drop back pass? Is it 3-step pass? Is it 5-step? Oh, is it run? Okay, I got to fake the A gap, then I got to shoot my B gap. Like, you have a lot of responsibilities. You're just a very small linebacker, but you're in the trenches with all the big linemen, with guys like yourself. Well, you're in them trenches.
And we've seen in this league right now, that is an area that opposing offenses are trying to take advantage of. So to have a guy that can occupy both those spaces, invaluable, especially the way the league certainly was when you were in the league, and the way it seems to be trending again now.
Well, he's not the thing that I like about Kyle, he's not scared.
Yeah.
He's a smaller guy, but he's not scared. I mean, you'd love to have another linebacker in the game, but is your linebacker really covering the number 3 receiver on the opposing team? Do you want that? No. You don't. So a Kyler Gordon, in my opinion, he's the perfect remedy to have a guy who can play linebacker-ish type style football. He can run the gaps. He can cover. He can sack the quarterback. Like, he's the perfect fit for this team. And I'm glad they were able to retain him.
Yeah, he's a great guy you're bringing back. He comes back along with Tremaine Edmonds, Javon Dexter, Andrew Billings, Montez Sweat as guys that are mainstays. I want to talk about a couple of the new guys here. Grady Jarrett, been around the NFL for a long time right now. Great career for the Atlanta Falcons down there. Some tough years, by the way.
Yeah.
What does he bring to this Bears defense, especially with what Dennis Allen's going to do that can be helpful to these guys?
Well, he's just going to help Montez Sweat out. You know, I think what we saw last year was, Montez Sweat was there. I just think we needed someone to be on his level, opposite of Montez Sweat. And I love what the offense did. Oh, excuse me. I love what the defense has done. You know, going out, getting some more help with Montez Sweat. I love what they've been able to do to get Grady Jarrett, and he's going to be a great addition to this team.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that's a good reminder. Like, the D-line's an ecosystem. While maybe I tend to slight them because they don't have to work together quite as much as the offensive line to have success, having a guy to take the weight off a little bit for Montez Sweat, who I believe was dinged up a little bit last year too.
He was.
So being back healthy, having a little bit of added reinforcement, and a guy in Grady Jarrett, who you guys saw in those highlights, always great at penetrating, getting upfield,
Yeah.
such a low center of gravity, and a real challenge for guys on the interior. That's a huge help in a place a quarterback hates to see pressure.
Yeah, so, Montez Sweat, he's the premier defensive lineman for the team, but when he's getting double teamed and he constantly is getting, chipped, from the tight end or the running back,
Yep.
your other three guys, that's just giving you more opportunity. Okay, he's double teamed. I got a true one-on-one. This is my time. This is my opportunity to go get that one-on-one sack, which I can beat my guy. And I definitely think Grady Jarrett is, like I said, he's key addition for this team this year.
Awesome. Well, all right, so big expectations for the defense. Again, top 10 defense, the prediction from a guy who knows a thing or two about great defense here in Chicago, Charles Tillman, giving us that love here. Let's talk about some of the young guys on this team, some of the rookies looking to make an impact on this roster. Luther Burden suited up for the first time in training camp today. Colston Loveland, a top 10 draft pick at tight end, something you don't see very often. And that we know is a fixture of Ben Johnson's offense. Again, as a defensive back, we talked about some of the things, the differences between nickel and the outside guys. What unique challenges does a tight end, especially one as adept at being a pass catcher, the way Colston Loveland is, present to opposing defenses?
Well, he's the double threat. You have some tight ends in this league. Yeah, they're a tight end, but you're a blocking tight end.
Yep.
I think Colston, he's a guy. He can run, he can catch, he can block, but he's very look how he looks like a really thick receiver.
Yeah.
And I think he's a true mismatch for safeties and linebackers. And I think he's going to have tremendous success in this league. He's a hard guy to tackle. He blocks down the field. All they did was speak about nothing, but they gave him high praise about he was in the weight room, he was in this building the entire time. Out of all the other players, he was the main guy that was in here. So that gives me, even though he was a top 10 pick, whatever. I got to work it. I got to prove myself. I'm in the NFL.
Yep.
I'm here to work. And by me reading and hearing all those reports about him being in here every single day in that weight room and just learning the film, learning the game, learning the offense, super excited.
Yeah, I mean, people hear that, and I think a lot of times now just think it's lip service. How much does that matter to you as a vet to see that out of young guys coming into your locker room who are expected, especially to contribute like that early?
I think he's ready.
Yeah.
There's some guys that come, they have to be taught how to be professionals, like we were talking about earlier with the offensive, like we're with the offensive lineman. Like he comes from a good program out of Michigan. Like he comes from like a pro style kind of setup, so he knows what it takes to be great. He won a national championship, so he's fresh off that. He knows what it feels like, so he's got the bug. He's hungry. There's sometimes, and unfortunately, I've been on teams and you have rookies and you're just like, hey man, like, let's go.
Right.
What are you doing? Pick up your film. Go get your iPad. Go get in the weight room. Like, what are you doing? He's a guy that you don't have to worry about. And as a veteran, I can trust him. I don't have to worry about that guy right there.
Right.
He knows he's squared away. I'm good.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin always had a line about that where he said, I'd rather have to say whoa than sick 'em.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather have to pull you back than coach you to do all those things you just described. So it's great to see from him. And, I mean, God, if you're a tight end looking at what Ben Johnson's done, I don't know how you're not chomping at the bit.
Licking your
trying to get
chops.
involved. I mean, Sam Laporta, what that group is able to do, Brock right behind him now. And so for this tight end room, Colston Loveland walking into a group, Cole Kmet's been the guy around here, second contract player for them out of Notre Dame. Durham Smythe comes over from Miami in that room as well. They've got a really versatile, interesting tight end room in a way that can provide Ben Johnson a lot of, I think, what he had in Detroit, especially with a premier pass catcher the way Colston's in line to be.
I see a lot of this two tight end set in the red zone. I see them doing I see those guys doing a lot of damage in the red zone, having Colston and Cole Kmet. I see those guys doing some damage in a red zone package.
Well, and
just mismatch all day long with linebackers, all day long.
And I think that's one of the big things as you look at, all right, if you're a Bears fan, where does the Ben Johnson difference really strike in? We've talked about all the personnel that comes up, but I do think what he does as a play caller from a formation versatility side, and part of that comes with, if you've got two tight ends in Cole Kmet and Colston Loveland that are both great pass catchers, I could put them in line. I can flex them out like wide receivers. I can present a bunch of different looks to a defense that's going to have to adjust personnel-wise. But then in the play calling for that offensive line up front, the biggest thing I saw last year watching that Lions offense was how much they throw at opposing defenses in terms of protection. Some plays it's max, some plays it's drop back, some plays they're moving the pocket up front, and it's forcing the guys in the D-line to think that extra half second that all of a sudden was buying Jared Goff all that time. And to your point in the red zone where, the windows shrink tremendously. They shrink real quick. I think having all of that flexibility coming from that tight end room makes so much of that easier for everyone else.
But you said it, though. When you're thinking on defense, I'm already screwed up. I messed up. Defense, you just got to react. So if Ben Johnson can get other defensives thinking for that half a second, that gives the offense a half a second more to run down there and make their play and run their route and catch the ball. Like that's the beauty of Ben Johnson. He's gonna make you think, which again, defensively, I just want to react. I want my guys running and just reacting to what they see. I don't want to wait. Is it this formation? Wait, if he gets up and move, is that my man? Are we rolling with the zone? Is it rocket? Like that's what he does. That's what he presents. Again, the man he plays chess. He doesn't play checker. He plays chess.
Ben Johnson's out here playing 4D Wizards chess, and it's got Bears fans very, very excited. Mike Golic Jr., Charles Peanut Tillman here. It's BR NFL Training Camp Live. We are out here in front of Hallis Hall. We appreciate sweating right now. I wore blue, so it hopefully wouldn't show up in the under boob area as much. The gutters in here.
I don't have any boobs.
No, you don't.
I'm a skinny guy.
You are, and you have kept the weight off nicely in retirement here. We've got the fans right here just in case, though, if you do get a little warm, because prior preparation prevents poor performance. We've got the spritz right there, and we've got the chat up here. Thank you to everyone sticking with us on the BR app. A lot of people asking about Luther Burden in the camp here. We saw a tweet earlier from Greg Braggs. Caleb really dialed in today with some nice throws. The hitting has been intense. Luther Burden with a mistake at the line of scrimmage, and Ben Johnson tossed him from that series of team drills with a hard stare down. So Luther Burden, who's been dealing with an injury, starting training camp, finally suiting up today. And you talked about that accountability. Ben Johnson not playing any games.
Holding people accountable. I love it. Whether you're a veteran, whether you're a rookie, it's holding people accountable. Some people take it as embarrassment. It's not that. It is totally not embarrassing. No one's trying to embarrass you. It's just, hey, man, you got to know the playbook. They pay me a lot of money to lead this team. The standard is the standard. And what we see, that's not good enough. You got to catch up and get on our level. But also I look at it as it's a learning. It's an opportunity to learn.
Okay.
You're a rookie. You made a mistake. It's something to grow and learn from. I want Burden to make all the mistakes he needs to make out here.
Right.
Learn from it. Take it. Preseason, or week one. Yep. I'm not making that mistake again because I did it. I got tossed out of practice. I remember the motion. Yep. I got you, coach. I'm good. You don't have to worry about me. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to execute what I need to execute.
I think it's a great reminder, especially in this day and age where social media, training camp clips, we got people keeping track of training camp stats all over the internet when, like you said, this is an area where you're supposed to make the mistake now.
You're supposed to try new things. I couldn't tell you how many times I tried my peanut punch and all right, I'm going to try this new technique and I'm going to try, that didn't work. I guess I got to perfect it a little bit more or a new coverage or something else. Like, this is the time to try new things. And like you said earlier, we're so enriched with social media. And we wanted to, I saw a couple plays, Aaron Rodgers, his first play, he threw an interception.
Right.
It's a new offense. It's a new team. It's new receivers. He's trying to get on the same page with those guys. Like, it's totally fine. It's okay that you make mistakes out here. This is the time and place to make all those mistakes.
No, completely agree. And I again, for everyone watching out there, just remember that as you're here getting excited about your team, we know you're happy to see everyone back out on the field here, but that's what it's about. You want trial and error so that you can go out there and play aggressively, play confident once you get out to the field there. We got DJ Moore getting ready to walk over with us right now as a part of that receiver room that we're talking about with Luther Burden, with, in year 2, Rome Odunze, highly drafted player out of Washington a year ago, a guy that you started to see some of that cohesion show up with Caleb Williams towards the end of last season, which it has to be incredibly encouraging for Bears fans here. As right now, let's get set to welcome him. We're seeing Rome Odunze here on the screen right now, him and Caleb making some great plays at the end of last year. Charles,
that was just one of those plays.
One of those. What do you mean by one of those?
Oh, I'm
plays?
sorry. So that was one of the plays that we were talking about earlier. Like, he got outside the pocket and he Houdini. He made something out of nothing. He rolled to his right, kind of threw across his body. I mean, it was a bullseye right to Rome Odunze.
Yeah, well, and I think you saw him make a lot of those same plays towards the end of the season that we saw at UW, right? A guy that can stretch the field vertically, is really creative and dexterous when he gets towards the sideline like that. You saw the toe tapping, you saw the contested catches, and him do so much great stuff there that I think he's really a guy. All these receivers seem to do different things in this wide receiver room. Am I correct in that? Like, how would you describe kind of the roles you see for these guys?
Well, just to follow up with what you said earlier, confidence. I think Rome Odunze, his confidence was even higher at the end of the season. That's why we saw him make more and more plays. Like, he just got more and more confident. His confidence was there. You know, I think DJ, he's a first and 10, third down. I need a go-to guy. He's my number one receiver. He's the guy I'm going to.
He really is. With the ball in his hands, too, so dynamic. Run after the catch. That's also what they're expecting from our first guest up today here from Bears training camp. We mentioned before a guy with a lot of expectations going into this season, a national champion by way of the University of Michigan. Bears tight end Colston Loveland, kind enough to join us here now, rookie first-round pick. Colston, what's going on, man? How you doing?
What's going on, Boss Peanut? How you doing?
How you doing? Mike Golic, good to see you.
Yes, sir. Pleasure.
Have a seat. Oh, he called me sir. I feel so old.
I know you're getting the unk treatment right now, I think.
Am I really an unk? Am I that old?
I think I saw the other day, and Colston, listen, you're the youngest person on this set now, so you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was Cooper Flagg say anyone born before 1995 is officially in unk territory. So where are you at on that?
Yeah, I'm not a unk.
I know.
But yeah, how I feel about it,
Yes.
yeah, I'd say that's cool. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm too young. I don't have an opinion on that.
All right, there we go. His unk credentials not there, but your credentials coming into Bears camp, you're incredible. Again, for Bears fans out there, your 10th overall pick, a tight end drafted in the top 10. You just don't see it very often. Now feeling better. When I saw you at the combine, you were recovering from that AC joint injury. How does it feel to be back out here and working and feeling full speed physically?
It's a blessing, man, for sure. It's been a lot of work up to this point, a lot of rehab, but I got a great group around me, great people around me, great support in this building. To finally get out there and play, and it's just exciting. It's a blessing. You know, we pray for times like these, so to be out here doing it, it's super cool.
What's been, since you're healthy and everything, you had your first NFL offseason, what's been the hardest thing to adjust from NFL, or excuse me, the hardest thing to adjust from college to NFL?
I'd say, and I guess we'll talk about the offseason. In the offseason, you get a lot more time than you do in college, actually. You know, you don't have school, so maybe you get 2 months off or whatever it is. Yeah. So it's just finding a routine and not getting complacent, not going on a trip, not working out or something. So and lucky enough, I was able to stay here rehabbing, so I was just in the same routine, didn't skip a beat. But I think it's just, knowing how to use your time management,
absolutely,
working for your body, learning the playbook, the whole deal, talking to your family, that's important, staying in tune with all that. So I'd say that was a big transition for sure.
What about the speed of everything? The speed from college to NFL, how's that?
Yeah, that's definitely different too. I think in the box especially, DNs are bigger, they're longer, they're stout.
Stronger, they're faster, they can
sideline
run.
to sideline, they're moving a lot faster. DBs, they're sticky. It's the best, obviously. So it's a change up for sure. But going against this defense especially, it's a blessing, man, because it's getting us better for sure.
Absolutely. I like that.
Who's helped you the most since you've gotten out here to camp? You had a great tight end room, Cole Kmet, one of your teammates in there as well. Ben Johnson, certainly well known for his work with tight ends in Detroit here. Who's given you maybe the best advice since you've gotten here to Bears camp?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys. I don't want to skip over anyone, but, we got a lot of pros in there, a lot of vets that handle their business the right way and do the thing the right way that I like to just observe and watch. Like Cole, Durham Smith, Joel, like the tight end room, just being around those guys, seeing how they move, asking them questions, talking to them, Coach Dre, all the coaching staff, but Coach Dre, the tight ends coach as well, just picking their brains and just hearing, their knowledge and being a sponge and just kind of soaking it all in. I think that's been beneficial for me for sure. So I appreciate those guys.
No, well, listen, you've gotten a lot of high praise from a lot of people already, including another former Michigan great tight end, Jake Butt, who works over at the Big Ten Network. He said as soon as he saw you at practice, said you were different and said you were going to be an 80-reception receiver for the next decade of your career. What's it mean for you to hear that from a guy that wore the same colors as you at that school and played the position at such a high level?
Yeah, that means a lot. Shout out Jake, man. That's my guy. But I appreciate him, and I do remember meeting him the first time, and he's been like a older brother kind of, just from the day I met him, he, you know, giving me pointers at practice, mid-practice. You know, we're doing a special teams period in Michigan. He's kind of just talking to me about this last play or whatever. So I appreciate him, and, you know, he obviously did it before me. So being able to, you know, learn from him and just, yeah, it means a lot for sure.
No, well, it's well-deserved praise here. And again, what you've done so far landed you as a top 10 pick in the NFL draft and certainly has you in line for a big season here in Chicago. Colston, we appreciate all the time, man. Go rest up. Go enjoy a nice shower. I'm sure it was a hot day out there hitting for you guys. We appreciate the time, man.
Thank you guys for having me
Appreciate
on,
you, man.
man. I appreciate it. Yep.
Awesome.
God bless.
Thank you.
Awesome stuff. Again, Colston going to be one of the great weapons here for this Bears team, but going to be led by one of the veteran guys on this squad here, DJ Moore, kind enough to join us. Great wide receiver for the Chicago Bears. Sitting down here now. DJ, what's going on? Good to see you.
Good, thank you. Nice for having me.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Let me give you my fan because you did all the work, bro.
I'm cool.
You done all the work. You can take the fan. Team player over here.
Exactly. Team player. Third season with the Chicago Bears. Last season, 966 yards, 98 receptions, 6 touchdowns. New regime here in town for you. Change of scenery with the crew in here. How's it felt so far through the early portion of training camp with Ben Johnson?
Uncomfortable. It's been the main thing. Just them trying to change the culture around here, and they did it fast, and you can tell how we practice and go about our business.
What about it has changed so much in terms of how you practice? What's the thing that jumped out at you right
The
away?
intensity. If you mess up, you get out of there. You get one chance. If you a double offender, then you ain't gonna be in on that play for for the rest of camp. It feel like.
So we saw a lot of that in the chat. People mentioning Luther Burden in there. You know, rookie receiver coming in, had been dealing with a little bit of injury, and Coach Johnson after a play tossed him out and made it watch there. Did you offer any counsel to your rook on that one? What'd you tell him after that?
I actually didn't see it because I was coming back or getting talked to, but I did hear him yelling at somebody, and I didn't know it with Luther. But any advice is that you just got to stay in your playbook and know the exact details, because if the playbook say +2 from the hash and you -1 from the hash, then you're wrong, and you're going to have to get out. If he going to give you a second chance, you're going to re-huddle it, go back out there. If you do it again, line up in the same way, yeah, you're definitely coming out.
I appreciate that, though, because he's establishing, hey, this is our standard.
Yeah.
This is what it is. And if you're not on our page, get out. We'll find somebody else to get in and do it. So it keeps everyone accountable, and it's making everyone like, all right, I got to get in my playbook because I want to be on the field.
Yes, exactly. So you're obviously on the field plenty for this Bears team. You've been a great player already. We did see a little bit of you working at running back, though. Did I see that right here? What was that conversation like, and how did that feel for you?
The conversation was, all right, we got this package of however many plays, and got to know it by tomorrow. And ever since then, I just was like, all right, and I've just been going head first with it.
How did it feel? I mean, is that something that you had done much before, any experience with?
I had experience with it. It's not too challenging, but, it's a whole different feel with your eyes and your feet, and from going from outside to being in the backfield, everything faster back there.
Did you ever play running back, high school, college?
A little bit in high school and college, and but to be in the pros, everything.
So what's been the most challenging piece about playing running back in this
in
league?
the NFL?
Yeah.
It's getting your footwork right with the quarterback.
Okay.
And being in on time with the line, because if you late, you're gonna get blown up and on the cutback.
You mentioned your quarterback, Caleb Williams, coming into year 2 for him in the NFL, but year 1 in this offense that we know puts a lot on the quarterback's plate. What have you seen from him so far through this offseason and now into camp as far as his development as your
His
QB?
detail, he's been more detailed on everything because he don't want to get thrown out. The starting quarterback can get thrown out of practice. When that happens, everybody can get thrown out. So I know he's been studying pretty hard and going after it with us, being on the details with him.
All right, well, that's good to hear. I'm sure Bears fans are excited, and they also don't want to see their quarterback get thrown out of practice here. We want to do something. We know you just got done with practice. You work physically. We want to get a little bit of the mentals here right now. We got the iPad coming over here, and what we've got is a freeze-framed play from last season. So it's apparently too hot, and our iPad is overheated right now. So we were going to try and put you to work in there a little bit. Oh, you know what play it is? All right, what play was it from last year?
Formation, team.
Our former team, the Panthers.
Okay.
Formation was, I want to say, a 4x1. I was
Okay.
on the backside. I had a post, alert post. If the safety moved over at any point, an inch, it was going up to me, and he did, and it's a touchdown.
All right, there we go. And we've got the play going down right here. So you saw it, safety move, one-on-one matchup, and an incredible catch back there in the end zone. I'm curious for you, DJ, because when I watch you on tape, when you get the ball in your hands in the short area, it's a show. You are so electric with the ball in your hands. Do you like a short catch that you can turn into a long run, or a deep ball like that where you're toe tapping in the back of the end zone better?
Either or. Hope it just both turn out into a touchdown, but the funness is when you can get the ball short and go be Mario Superstar on the play. So I choose that one.
Electrifying plays. Those are the fun ones to watch.
Those are the fun ones. All right, last one for you here. We know you got to go and got a busy day here. We saw you guys did the first day of school stuff there. You put the chalkboard up, and you and Roma Dunze both said you wanted to be the other when you grow up here. Describe your relationship with Rome going into his second year.
I mean, it's been amazing. Rome been under my wing since he got here. We had Keenan last year. I was under Keenan's wing because was the vet. I'm still learning from him. Yeah,
yes.
He's like the So I was learning from him, and Rome was taking it from me and him at the same time. But I'm closer to age than Rome. So I mean, our relationship is great. We text. If he have a problem out there on the field, he asks me, and we go from there.
Well, it's something I know Bears are excited to see you guys both out there doing your thing this season. DJ, we appreciate the time, man. Good luck with the rest of training camp, and hopefully you don't get tossed at any point here.
Please, let's not put that in the air.
Appreciate
All right,
you
there we
coming
go.
home, man.
Thanks, DJ. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Oh. All right, so what we have been made abundantly clear today is in Ben Johnson's training camp, anyone can get it. No one is safe if you go out there and mess up. And to your point, I think when you see, and this was for years, the New England Patriots, when they sat atop the NFL's pecking order for years, all we heard was Bill Belichick didn't care if you were Tom Brady or the guy on the 90th spot in the expanded roster. You were going to be held accountable for what you did. And I always think seeing the best players on your team get that same level of accountability sends a message to everyone else that creates such a different tempo around your team.
We're all the same.
Yeah.
We're not all the same. Like, anyone can get it.
Yeah.
My star, my non-star, my starters, non-starters, you can all get it. We need to be on point. We need to be on par. We all need to be on the same page. So I love it. I applaud Coach Johnson for doing what he's doing. Again, the standard is the standard. We're not changing for anybody, not even our starting quarterback.
No, which again, positive developments here out of Bears training camp. It's BR NFL Training Camp Live. Mike Golic Jr. here with Charles Peanut Tillman. Thank you to Colston Loveland, DJ Moore, so both stopped by. Charles, they're expected to be the big performers this year. While Cole Kmet's going to probably be the starter at tight end, we know Colston Loveland's going to feature prominently. Everyone already knows DJ Moore. I'm curious, as you look at this team offensively and defensively, who's a guy that you maybe think is a bit underrated, a guy that's being slept on in terms of his importance to this Bears team this upcoming season?
Javon Dexter.
Okay.
I think he was a guy that was underrated. I think he had a career high. I just don't think he got enough praise, or I don't think he got enough attention for what he was able to do last season. So I'm really looking at 2025 for this to be his come out year. It's easy to do it one time, but to replicate it, to do it over and over and over and over again, that's hard to do in this league. So that's my challenge for him, is to be able to have what you did last year. Can you do it again? Because that was last season. So now you got to hit that reset button. And now you have to do it again and again and again and again for 17 games.
Well, and we've talked a lot today about the effect that well-placed veterans have throughout a team. Joe Tooney and his championship pedigree being a resource for guys on the offensive line, and how they want to handle their business there, how they want to handle it in the film room, how they take care of their bodies, and certainly how you get onto the field. You look at a guy like Grady Jarrett, you want to talk about consistency in adverse circumstances. Because it's one thing to be at your best when things are going well.
Right.
But Grady Jarrett showed up for years on a Falcons D-line where it didn't always feel like he had help.
Right.
Where it didn't always feel like their team had a lot to play for. And so I think having a guy like him in the room next to you, if you're Javon Dexter, is something that can really be, if he's a sponge and can soak that up, huge and pay dividends for them.
But I look at guys like that who play amazing on bad teams. And it's hard to play good on a bad team because mentally you can get down. It could like, another losing season. Like, it can wear on you mentally. But looking at Grady Jarrett, like, if you can continue to perform at a very high level, even though your team isn't performing, even though you don't have the best D-line, even though you are losing year after year after year, if you're a guy who can still perform, that means you have mental toughness. I want a guy like that on my team. I would trust a guy like that on my team. I want a guy like Grady Jarrett in my foxhole. I want to go to war with a guy like Grady Jarrett. Those are the types of guys that I want to be around. That's why he will do nothing but make big, large contributions to this defense.
Big, large contributions to a defense and a team that, again, has made a lot of substantive changes over the course of this offseason. Ben Johnson in at head coach, Dennis Allen in at defensive coordinator, Joe Tooney and Jonah Jackson on offense, Grady Jarrett, Deo Onigbo on the defensive side, among a group of players all coming back trying to right the ship after last year where, you had a 5-12 season in arguably the most competitive division in the NFL and the NFC North. 3 teams made the playoffs last year. The division was so good, they almost tried to change the playoff seeding rule because people were so freaked out. So, Charles, what we want to do here now is take a look at this upcoming 2025 Bears schedule.
Oh, snap.
And we're going to have you run through every game and try and pick the Bears schedule now. I know it's early. I know we got a lot of camp left to go still. But based on what you know about this Bears team and based on the expectations coming up. So we got the schedule up.
So
right now.
I just don't want no one to be mad at me because I am a Bear and I know we're not gonna go 17-0. But
Okay.
I would gladly say it. So Bears fans, don't hate me if I say we're gonna lose.
You already predicted a top 10 defense for the Bears this season earlier in the show. Lest we forget, the Bears defense have finished 28th overall, I think, in points allowed or total yards last year. You said was going to be a top 10 defense. So as far as I'm concerned, and considering your entire tenure here where you were a phenomenal player and beloved by the city, I think you're good with Chicago, to be honest.
Okay. So I'm being totally honest. I think we can take Minnesota. I think we can take Minnesota week 1. They got a new quarterback. Detroit.
On the road at Detroit, who, again, that's going to be the homecoming, the revenge game. Ben Johnson going back to the place that he was for so long. But on the other side, listen, the Bears' gain was the Lions' loss.
Yeah.
That's a big void that they're trying to fill there. Not only there, but Aaron Glenn gone on defense as well.
Revenge games are always fun to watch because the team or the player or the coach who's going back to their previous team, they got a whole lot of built up. And I know Ben Johnson left on great terms with Detroit, but I'm gonna say us. I'm gonna say Bears.
Okay, all right.
I'm saying Bears all day.
Bears get the win. All right, so you have the Bears not only starting off 2-0, but 2-0 in the division.
2-0. I'm coming out hot.
All right, I love it.
Coming out hot.
So week 3 against the Dallas Cowboys back at home.
We got Dallas.
Oh, all right, got confidence.
Say it with your chest. My chest is out. We got Dallas. We got Vegas. They still trying to get a quarterback. Week 5, I wish the bye was like week 8 or 9. You want your bye at least after the 8th or 9th game.
Yeah.
You don't want an early bye, but that's okay.
Why is that?
That's when you start to really feel it. Like the 8th or 9th week of the season, that's when you really want that week off.
Physically, that grind starts to add up.
Yeah, you're halfway through the season. Now I need a break. Washington, I'm going to say no.
Okay. All right, so coming off the bye on the road at Washington, who phenomenal season last year.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, classmate in that class.
Coach Quinn has a really good defense. He's a defensive head coach. Yep. Coach Quinn, I like what he does with defense. And then their quarterback, he didn't play like a rookie last year.
No.
Yeah, he didn't play like a rookie.
That was really impressive. Testament to Cliff Kingsbury coming there, avoiding the usual fall off that we've seen Cliff's offense at the end of the season. But Jaden did so much of that creation on his own towards the end of the year too.
He did. So I'm sorry, I got to say no to that. New Orleans, we got that. They gonna be too busy dancing in the streets, whatever. No.
Hey, you're a man that understands the bayou, Louisiana Lafayette's very own.
Yes, sir. We that's a dub for us. Baltimore. I don't know that their defense quarterback. Yeah, I think we're going to have to take an L for that one.
Okay, you know what? Understandable. Baltimore in contention for maybe the best team in the NFL,
Yes.
Super Bowl favorite going into the season. The chat seems to agree. Some people, I think Jonah Thomas says, I think they beat Washington. Revenge game there, too. That one,
possibly.
That one interesting here. The chat's certainly been reacting to your pick so far. A lot of people excited about the 4-0 start. I think the chat should be able to understand losing to the Baltimore Ravens on the road.
Yes.
Probably an okay and forgivable one.
I think it'll be a good game. I don't think it'll be a hard game, so I'm going to give that one to Baltimore. Cincy, Joe Burrow and company. I think we can take Cincy. I really do. I don't see Cincy having a really great defense. I think Caleb Williams will have a field day on that defense.
Yeah, Al Golden, year one with that defense that struggled mightily last year and just got that rookie first-round pick in at D-end and Shamar Stewart. Still hasn't signed
trying
their
to deal for the whole complaint thing, the little discrepancy in the contract.
Yep.
Yeah.
Still haven't gotten Trey Hendrickson back. The man who's led their team in sacks the last 2 years.
So much distraction. There's so much distraction going on right now. I'm going to say we got that one.
Okay.
They don't have a quarterback in New York Giants. I'm going to say no. They don't have a quarterback.
Yeah, that's probably a good dub there.
That's a good win for us. I'm going to go week 11 in Minnesota. They might get our number for that one because it's in Minnesota. Minnesota is kind of a tough place to play now. They do
the clap. Skull.
They do the Viking clap, whatever you call it. I'm going to give that one to us. Pittsburgh.
Oh, wait, you going win or a loss in Minnesota right
I said a loss.
Okay, all right, you said a loss. I just didn't want to make sure.
No, we got it.
All right, Kai Jana Thomas says we beat the New York Giants easily. Tony Moy says you guys are high. I can assure you not. We are hot, but not high. Is the Baltimore game prime time? That I don't know.
It probably will be. They might make it. They might make that a prime time.
All right, listen, Peanut. A lot of people shocked by the confidence that you have in this Bears team, but I think it's well earned at this point.
Hey, I say all this with confidence, ladies and gentlemen, and I say it with my chest.
All right, that Baltimore game is not prime time or is prime time, Abby? Our producer Abby's giving me the answer right now. Not prime time, so at the very least we got that going for us.
Okay, Pittsburgh. Oof. I'm gonna say we can take Pittsburgh.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, new team. His first pass was a pick. Yeah.
Bad vibes.
Bad vibes.
All right, there we go. Aaron Rodgers, guy certainly saw a fair amount in the division.
I will say, what is this, year 22 for him?
Yeah, he's getting into that like Tom Brady 40-plus range here.
Yeah.
Ayahuasca off seasons to try and stay young.
I think Coach Allen's going to carve up something nice for him week 12.
All right.
I think he's going to carve up something nice.
Bears fans, music to their ears after a lot of years of Aaron Rodgers antagonizing this fan base.
Philadelphia, I'm going to say that's a no. That's a no-go for us.
Yeah.
Coach Sirianni, he's got those boys playing on a different level right now.
Yeah,
they're playing on a high level. Defensively, they took the ball away like no other team in the playoffs. That's really what contributed, in my opinion, to their success and them winning the Super Bowl.
Incredible young DB room there, too.
Yes.
Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell. Those guys all really stepped up for them early on in their careers as Vic Fangio's defense.
He did. Green Bay, that's a win all day. I will win all day. I will never be accepted in this city, in this state, if I say we lose to Green Bay.
He said these colors don't run.
Yeah, so go to week 14, win, and week 16. Those are automatic wins for us.
All right.
I could.
Auto dub against the Packers.
Auto dub.
Kyle in the chat says sack Rodgers 5 times, please.
Absolutely. Cleveland, they're still trying to find a quarterback. They got a crazy room. You know, you got Shador, he's there. Deshaun Watt, he's there. Yeah, they're trying to figure that whole situation out. Who is the quarterback?
Yeah, Joe Flacco. By the way, sneaky Jack still at this point in his career for being as old as he is.
Sneaking years by. Can someone call me? I would love to sneak a year or two in. If you got me at like week 12 or something like that, I could.
Okay, all right. So you've got. How many snaps in a game would you say you have left?
Oh, I can get you a solid quarter.
Oh, wow. All right.
So snaps, I got 20, 25 snaps.
All right, there we go.
Solid.
Bears, listen, you get towards week 12 and beyond, you give Peanut, the phone's on. You guys have his number?
And I guarantee a peanut punch in those 28 plays.
See,
I could totally guarantee one.
The millennial in me would love nothing more than the nostalgia of seeing a peanut punch pop up in 2025. You kidding me? I'd pay pay-per-view prices for that. So week 15 against Cleveland, you're calling that a dub?
I'm going to call that a dub.
All right, we got a dub there. So we got the last 2 weeks on the road at San Francisco. We haven't talked about the 49ers yet in the NFC this year. And then week 18 versus Detroit. What's the record in those 2 games?
I'm going to say Week 17 loss, Week 18 loss.
Okay, so we split with the Lions on the
I'm
season.
split with the Lions. You
All
know, their head coach, he's a smart guy. They learn from their mistakes. So after we beat them Week 1, I think they come back and beat us Week 18.
All right, so I'm seeing 11-5 right now.
Yeah.
All right. Honestly, Bears fans, I think one of our producers said that pick might have been 10-6 before or something like that. 11-6, excuse me. Math is really hard, and it's 17 games in a season, and I struggle with counting here. I'll blame the glare.
Me too.
Bears fans, if you get that, I mean, in this division, that's a playoff team for sure.
Absolutely.
And I guess that's the biggest question. You think in year one under Ben Johnson, the Bears can go from being a 5-12 team last year to a playoff team this year?
From what I've heard from all these other players about how he holds his teams accountable, absolutely. I 100% without a doubt, say it with my chest, say it confidently, this 2025 Chicago Bears defense can totally make the playoffs based on what Coach Johnson and staff are doing with the team. They are setting the standard, and the standard is the standard. I don't care who you are or what you do. If you don't get it right, you're getting out. We're gonna put somebody in the game who's gonna get it right. It's that to me. That's a motivator. That motivates you to get on your A game, to be on your P's and Q's, to know what you have to do, and not be like, yep, my bad, coach. Let me get it. No, you had your chance. Get out. We want somebody else in there. You're setting the stage early.
And listen, while Ben Johnson was just one part of it, having been around a team where it wasn't like the Lions got better right away. He saw how they had to lay that foundation. He saw how they built over a number of years. And so to have seen a rebuild like that happen firsthand, I think does give you a lot of the tools to draw on. We know Dan Campbell. He's the kind of leader that pours into the people that work on his staff. Ben Johnson stuck around there longer than most thought he would. And so to get a chance to really absorb all that, why can't he walk in here with the tools that show you how to have that kind of turnaround and maybe expedite it even a little quicker because of all the talent we've talked about on this roster?
I think he stayed because the situation wasn't right for him. I think he left when the situation was right. And I love that he came to Chicago, even though it is within the division. He stayed long enough to know when it was time to leave. And I love what he's about to do with this team. I'm speechless sometimes right now because I'm so goddamn excited.
I love it. Hey, why not? What is training camp in the offseason for, if not hope? Why not get a little drunk on it now? I know the chat's been accusing us of being drunk up here.
We're just hot, you guys. It's guaranteed if we were drunk right now, we would not sound this good.
No, I can assure you.
It's just really hot. We're hot. We're sweaty. We're sticking to the leather.
We are. Oh, my. Well, you know what? We think we're hot. Kyler Gordon getting ready to join us here now. I can assure you, he felt a lot more of this heat out there on those pads today. We heard the pads popping out there. Kyler, what's going on, man? Good to see you.
What's up? How y'all doing?
We're doing well. I'm sure it kind of, it feels weird to hear the media over here in the shade complaining about being hot. So how was it out there today?
It's good. It wasn't too bad. Getting used to it. We're training in Vegas, so that heat, nothing like this at all.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, Vegas training, huh?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's the
that
dry.
dry
That's
heat.
that desert.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's that dry. So this
Killer.
ain't nothing for you then.
Nah, I'm used to this.
Okay.
Rookie year was way worse. We had 110 out here, dying. I was playing 2-3 string, 1-2-3.
Yeah.
So it's nothing. We good.
All right, so different world now here. You're paid man out here in Chicago. Congratulations
on
that.
that.
Incredible
Absolutely.
deal, well-deserved here. Your fourth season in Chicago and a new staff here. Dennis Allen comes over and is your defensive coordinator now. When did you know that things were going to be different defensively? What was the moment either this offseason or your first meeting with Dennis Allen where you really got a sense for what to expect from him?
Yeah, I mean, the first couple things we talked about is learn every position, safety, outside, everything, knowing the whole entire defense. And really in this last defense I was before, I really just had a no nickel. I did play corner too as well my rookie year, but, being able to know inside, outside, and be in the back and being able to go anywhere around in the defense, I feel like it just sets up everything, whether it's disguise, being able to do the blitz or be in the box, carry, be on the outside. Like, it's just a multitude of things, so it's amazing to be able to do
you
that.
think that helps you play faster because you know all the positions, the other guy knows all the positions, everybody knows where everyone is, so therefore you don't have to necessarily go make a play. Well, I just got to contain because I know the other guys are going to make this play, so I'm just doing my job. How do you think that helps you play?
Yeah, I think it's just more free, it's just more comfortable. Being in the defense, being like, all right, I know this is my job. I got my help here. All I got to make sure is I do this, and then just reloading the next play and doing the same thing and just having that comfortability of just knowing everyone's doing their thing.
Yeah. I like that.
Definitely.
I like that.
How would you describe the style of Dennis Allen's defense?
Very aggressive. He wants to be feared, and I like that. And I think that's what our whole defense wants to give off, you know, that intimidation. And so we're all about hitting, coming downhill, and letting the offense fear us. And I like that. That's a big component in this defense.
So you guys want to be feared. You're trying to set that incredibly physical tone here. On the other side, going up against this offense, now you guys have seen Ben Johnson's offense in the division, but what's that been like now, seeing that every day through the early portion of camp and in the offseason program, and how do you think that helps you this year?
Yeah, I know Ben is extremely disciplined. You know, he's paying extreme attention to detail and getting that from the offense. So, you know, when you have an offense that's extremely detailed, you got to be even more on defense. So that just makes us and forces us to be better. Line up better eyes, get ready, get right, and so it just puts even more stress on us to be perfect.
One of the things that I noticed, I went to practice, I saw like 10 minutes of it. 11 guys running to the ball.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are swarming
Definitely.
the ball. Like Wu-Tang Killer Bees up here.
Yeah.
I feel like I didn't see a lot of that last year, but now I'm like, I see a legit 11 guys running to the ball. I told him earlier, I'm saying, hey, you guys will be a top 10 defense this year. I see nothing. The 10 minutes that I saw, I was impressed.
Yeah.
I was impressed.
And it's fun to see. Like, everyone wants to get there and make a play, get to the ball. Like, something's going to happen. That's all we're telling ourselves every single day. Something's going to happen, and you can feel that from everyone wanting to get there and do something and be a part of the play. So it's definitely great to have a defense that want to do that.
High expectations from a Bears alum here for you guys here. On the outside, as far as the respect you feel like you guys maybe do or don't get, I saw, Pro Football Focus put out a list of the best cornerback duos in football. And while you play all over the place, your guys' defensive back room didn't get mentioned in that. What do you think is the potential for this defensive back room with guys like you and Jalen Johnson out here doing your thing?
Yeah, I think the sky's the limit. Honestly, more than anything, I'm just excited to go show it. Like, everyone can talk numbers, this or that, who they think. That's all opinionated stuff. Like, I'm all about going out there and showing it. So it don't mean nothing if you don't go out there and go do it. So I'm just excited to get to the season and get right.
See, I like that. I can show you better than I can tell you.
Real.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to show it. I got to show up and show you what I need to do. So,
Definitely.
yeah, I'm with that all day.
We've talked about some of the newcomers on your defense, up on the defensive line, especially with Grady Jarrett and Deo. What kind of impact have you seen from those guys so far assimilating into your defense here in Chicago?
I mean, they're vets coming in, 10+. I don't know how much Otto is, but just like you said, everyone's running the ball. We got 10-year vets running the ball, showing by example. You know, it's not just coming in trying to be a motivational speaker. He's coming in, and they're both doing things by example. So you can respect that. They're making plays still. Like, it's just amazing to see. So to have those guys come there and do that, just adding to the defense.
So you went from John Hoke to Al Harris. What has that change been like for you in the DB room?
It's just nice because, John was more like very IQ, this and that. And not that Al isn't, but, you get more of a, he played a lot of experience playing. So you get IQ versus a guy that played in the league to give you a little more experience of him actually being in the position and going through the stuff like that, the technique and learning the actual system of the offense versus our defense and stuff like that. So just getting so many different informations, it's good to get both in my career, honestly.
No, I definitely. Certainly something that staff in Detroit was well known for, having a lot of former players there and that an invaluable bit of experience there. All right, I have to feed the Gen Z meter on here. Kevin Byard said that the young players on this team say Ben Johnson has aura. Do you agree with that, and how would you define that?
I agree. I would agree. Definitely has some aura to him. And how I define that, when you could just, look at the coach and just feel everything he's saying. You can just understand it without him having to really explain it to you or prove it to you. You just understand. It's oh yeah, we're on that timing. And so when you got a coach just like that, it's you already connecting up there mentally. It's all right, you just feel like you already trust him, you know what the plan is. So I think that's a good feeling. I feel like a lot of guys feel that way.
All right, the pervasive confidence that emanates from your head coach here. Also a lot of confidence from having you on the team here. So you're a guy, listen, we're on a set, Charles Peanut Tillman, one of the foremost NFL nicknames of my lifetime.
Yes,
you got the nickname Spider-Man when you
Yeah.
got here back in 2022. So I want to ask you, superhero nickname time, if we were to ask you to assign a comp for your teammates here of some other superheroes, I'm going to give you the superhero. You tell me which of your teammates you think fits the billing. Let's start off with the Flash. So thinking speed. Which of your teammates would you say is the Flash on this roster?
The Flash. Oh,
incredible Spider.
I want to say Josh Blackwell. You know, he's a speedy guy. He's outside. He played a lot of gunner too.
All right.
Also played nickel with me. You're running down there, 4-2, 4-3 guy, running, pinning down the ball. So he just done a lot of that. So I'm gonna give it to Josh Blackwell.
All right, we got the Flash locked up there. Then Hulk.
I like this. I'm gonna give it to Dex. I'm gonna give it to Big Dex.
Ooh.
Dex is up there causing havoc.
Yeah.
Always, and I think he's gonna do even more this year. So I'm excited to see him play.
That was his pick for the most underrated player.
Dex Smash.
Yeah, smash. All right, there we go. Even another vote of confidence there. This one's interesting to me. Batman. The Dark Knight. Utility belt going crazy. Maybe a man of few words.
I might have to get that. I want to say few words.
Who are you going to think of? Let's go with your first reaction.
You know, Briss got that Batman on his. He got that Batman tat.
Oh,
so
give it
kinda,
to him.
You know, he kind of Batman man. You know. Dark Knight, he gives that Dark Knight energy, you know. But you know, you like that little dark energy on the defense. So he definitely coming down, blowing some stuff up. Thief in the night, coming and blowing it up.
Hey, listen, you said this is a defense that wants to be feared. I feel like having a little bit of that Dark Knight energy goes a long way in that.
Definitely.
Last two here. Iron Man.
Smart,
savvy,
rich.
Yeah.
Rich.
I'm gonna go Kevin Byard. I'm gonna go Kevin Byard. Rich, savvy, he's vetted, putting on all the, you know, like you be putting on game to Spider-Man, putting on game to the whole Avengers team.
Okay.
You know, Cameron kind of did that, so I think that's a good comparison right there.
All right, Kevin. You know what? That's honestly, I like that one a lot. Kevin Byard is Iron Man, and then last one here, Man of Steel, Superman. It's a big summer blockbuster.
Superman.
Who's Superman on this defense?
On the defense.
I mean, I guess it'd be the whole team. Yeah. Why am I?
Let's say open it up for the whole team.
Yeah,
All three guys. Who's your Superman?
It's only because Cole looked like Superman. I'm just kind of like, I can see you could be Clark Kent, you know.
Oh yeah, Cole Kmet definitely does have a little bit of that Clark
He can
Kent
fit
to
it.
him.
He can fit it.
I think that's a good one.
I think that's a really
that's
good
good
one.
Just
I like
based
that.
off the looks.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, these are all good from Spider-Man himself. Kyler Gordon, again, Kyler, congrats on the deal.
Appreciate
We're looking
you
forward to
guys.
this upcoming season, man. Best of luck and good luck with the rest of training camp,
No,
too.
thank you guys.
Appreciate you, man. Good luck.
Thank
Stay
you.
cool out there.
Awesome. Appreciate you, buddy. Absolutely.
Next time,
Great to see
don't
you.
panic when there's a deep ball. Just play through the hands. He didn't give you nothing. He was just running, and everyone was like, "Ball!" You were like, "Oh, snap!" And I was like, "Don't jog!" God dang it. Yeah, I got you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There we go. Veteran advice there. You couldn't resist. You were chomping at the bit to
I
talk
had to
about that
wait.
one,
I
weren't
know
you?
she was in my. I saw it. I was just like, but I heard Al. He corrected you. He was like, look, he didn't give you nothing. He was just running. But I think what happened was, he was just so chill, and you were so chill, and then he turned it on, and then you had to. It was like, oh damn, up. Yep. There you go. Yeah, man. Have a good one.
Awesome stuff. That's a cool moment right there. I mean, you just couldn't turn that off, could you?
So when I went out there, I'm just watching the plays happen, right? And DJ Moore ran a route, but he came off jogging, and it was a very delayed route. He did it on purpose, and it was delayed. DJ came jogging off the ball. Kyler was covering him, but Kyler thought it was just like a decoy route, which it kind of was-ish, sort of. And DJ sped up really quick and really got in the route, and then Kyler was like, oh, let me speed, and he already had a step or two on him, and then someone was like, ball, and he didn't even turn and look. He just was like, oh, crap, no, and he just got the PI and tackled DJ Moore down the field. So I was just like, dude, don't panic. He was just running. The ball wasn't even there yet. If he looked, he still could have had a good 2 seconds of running. He just tackled him. He just panicked real quick.
I hope everyone watching this could see Charles turn into the vet right there and give some game that he had from out here in practice. But again, that's the stuff that's going to make these guys better. We've talked about that veteran influence across the board. It's been a great day out here at Bears training camp. Again, so much to look forward to in this upcoming season. Everyone seems to have harped on the difference, the energy, the aura that Ben Johnson has brought to this program, all the new faces around here. It's all setting up for, as you predicted, we went through game by game, an incredible opportunity this season for the Bears to potentially be a playoff team and maybe the best division in football. Charles, it's been a ton of fun, man. Really appreciate all the time and insight today.
I appreciate you having me. And not to just give Ben Johnson all the credit, I think his coaching staff is doing a hell of a job at each and every position as well. I just wanted to make sure I throw that out there. It's not just all Ben Johnson. He gave you an Avengers set of coaches. So I'm really excited to see what these assistant coaches will do with this team this year.
It's a great reminder that it is about the staff that Ben has put together. He's one guy setting the tempo up top, but it's all those little moments across there. I saw someone in the chat say, "Man, if this whole show was just Peanut giving out game like that to guys, I'd be dialed in here from start to finish." So Bears fans certainly excited to see. I mean, it's got to be nice for you being back in here. The chat can see and acknowledge that, how much this team and this place still mean to you all these years later.
Well, I don't want to come on the show and just bad and trash the team that I love. I want to be honest. Yeah, there were some things that we didn't do well, but I do think, based on what all the players have said about Coach Johnson and staff, everyone's buying what he's selling. Everyone's buying what he's selling, and I think that's the coach's. It's hard to do sometimes when you're on a team and you're trying to tell teams what to do. Hey, we got to buy in. We got to keep trying, and some players don't do that. I can honestly get a sense that all 53 guys are buying what coach is selling. The most important person in this building is the head coach. And if he can get everyone believing in his style of play, his system, man, the sky is the limit for the 2025 Chicago Bears.
It's going to be incredible to watch Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, and the rest of this roster go to work. We appreciate all of you guys watching, me, Charles, Peanut, Tillman, here outside of Hallis Hall. Make sure you keep it tuned into the Bleacher Report app. Plenty more great training camp content coming your way as we march through this fall towards the start of the season. Thanks so much. We'll see you guys soon here again on BR NFL Training Camp Live.
We out.